Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So you've
Yeah.
locked in,
Have you ever
you've
met a realtor who says no to that meeting?
yeah, exactly.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Local Marketing Lab, where you get real-world insights from industry pros to help you drive local revenue and local growth. This podcast is brought to you by Evocalize, digital marketing tools powered by local data that automatically work where and when your locations need it most. Learn more at evocalize.com.
Well, what's up, and welcome to the Local Marketing Lab. Joining us in the lab today is a guest with over 25 years of experience in the mortgage industry. He loves dogs, is an author of The Why of Money, coach, and the Chief Revenue Officer over at Client Direct Mortgage, Eric Mitchell. Thanks for joining us in the lab, my friend.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I was super excited. I know that some folks from our org had recently had conversations with you and wanted to get you on to talk a little bit about, your perspectives on local marketing. But before we jump in, maybe you can give us a brief primer on, your background and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I came in the business by accident in 1999. It was good timing, right? I'd love to tell you, oh, I planned it. It's like, no, I just fell into it. I think like most loan officers, I don't know
Yeah.
anybody, at 8 years of age going, I can't wait to grow up and be a loan officer. You know, we all got pulled in somehow, some way by someone we knew,
Yeah.
and had a good run. And then 2008 did a big transition, ran a short-sold joint venture division for a mortgage company. And then in 2011, did another transition. I was the national lending partner with Craig Proctor Coaching, one of the largest realtor coaching companies in America. I was a lending partner for several years.
Mm.
And, in the process, I've had some of the greatest mentors and teachers. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big fan of find somebody who's brilliant at whatever it is you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They just do what they tell you to do. Right? Don't have an opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
I try very hard, unless I've proven something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I try and take notes and be a student.
Yeah. For the
And
most part, everything's been done before, right? It's
it's
like a
all been done,
well-worn
man.
path.
Like, it's been done. Right? The moment you say, "Well, my way is," hold on, my way. How many loans did you close last month? Well, in 2021, no. It's 2025, brother. Whatever you did in 2021, probably not working the same way in 2025. So my way is, how many loans did you close last month?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the metrics. And it doesn't feel good, right? A lot of people will, Eric, that doesn't feel good. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Truth sometimes doesn't feel good. That's fair. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop it from being true, right? Like in the mortgage industry, we get paid, biweekly or monthly or whatever is your payroll is, but it's based on your closings.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not evolving, right, then you're not growing, then you got problems, right? And so how do you solve those problems in a
Mm-hmm.
viable manner? And that's what I try and help loan officers with is a step-by-step process on how to get out of that grind.
Mm. And how long have you been coaching for?
Um, I mean, I started off and on quite some time ago, but I got a lot more involved in it for about the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Is it, I know in digging in a little bit to your background, I know that you do a lot of work with rescue dogs and fostering dogs and caring for them. Is it something just within you innately that wanting to help others, wanting to ensure their success? Like, does the coaching align with that other kind of part of your being?
Yeah, I mean, the fostering dogs, right, is a healing process for me. I'm recently divorced, and so
Mm,
they heal me more than, I mean, yes, I rescue dogs, and I
mm,
foster them and get them found into permanent homes, but they help me more than I help them, right? Like the unconditional love and the adoration and all that stuff that you get from a foster. It's,
mm-hmm,
I mean, it's unmatched. Um, the helping loan officers comes from childhood trauma that I had.
mm,
I had a very unique childhood. My dad was absent, traveling, working, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, I never saw the guy.
mm,
And my mom was sick. Um, doctors diagnosed her with MS because she was bedridden, but she was just clinically depressed. She married
Mm,
a guy who was basically her father, who wasn't good. And I didn't have a good
mm,
father, didn't have a good husband. My dad's, I hadn't talked to the guy in over 20 years. He's still
mm,
alive, but haven't had a conversation with him.
mhm,
And so I don't have a single memory of a childhood family dinner,
mm,
right? Like where you just sit around the table and you have dinner with your family. Now,
mhm,
we would go to holiday dinners at our uncle and aunt's house,
mhm,
right? Like we do that twice a year, 3 times a year. But at our house, just having a family dinner it just never happened ever. I don't have
mhm,
a single memory of one.
mm,
And so the concept of family has a different connotation to me.
mhm,
And I don't know I don't have kids. I'm recently divorced, so I don't want to give anybody any relationship advice or how to raise kids advice, right? I'm definitely not qualified. Don't take any of that advice from me. What I am passionate about is I don't know how you could have a successful marriage or a successful raising of your children if money causes stress,
mhm. Yeah,
right? If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're always worried about money, then you're not present.
right.
And
Yeah,
so how do you make enough money that you get to be present with your family, that you get to be home for dinner with your family? That's the passion. That's where that comes from is like, if you don't zero in on these activities and these practices, then you're always gonna have stress, and I
yeah,
don't want that for you,
yeah,
right? Don't raise your kids that way. Like, that's like I I was raised that way.
yeah.
It's bad.
Same.
It's not
Yeah,
good.
it's not fun.
It's
Yeah,
not no. So, how do I help you get out of that grind?
yeah. Ah, that's I definitely wasn't expecting that. I haven't heard that perspective from any guests and with regard to any really part of, their career as to why they got into it, and it makes total sense. Part of why I do what I do from a marketing standpoint is I grew up somewhat similar fashion. My dad was a building contractor, and there were lots of times when there was just financial struggles like constantly. And I didn't want to like, I don't do sales personally because I like to have a guarantee of a paycheck. And it's terrifying to think that, maybe the money wouldn't be coming in like I experienced growing up. And it, it absolutely, it brings turmoil into the home that can be avoided if the income was there.
Yeah, when you look at causes of divorce, right?
Mhm.
There could be several reasons that can cause a divorce, but there's just a select few primary reasons, right? So money
Mm.
problems is a big one.
Yeah.
The way you want to parent your children is another big one, right?
Mhm.
You get married, you have kids, and all of a sudden your parenting styles aren't in alignment.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
That's a big deal.
But money is I think the biggest cause of divorce, right? Lack
Mm.
of s- financial stress, whatever that is. And
Yeah.
so if you can remove that, you have a much better shot,
Yeah.
right? The odds are already against all of us, right? They just are. Like, it's not good odds of getting married,
Mm.
raising kids, having good families, staying happy, right?
It's
Odds are
tough.
not in any of our favor.
Mhm.
And so how do you get the odds to be at least a little better?
Yeah. So
Have
what are
money,
s
make
yeah,
money.
that's true. So what are some things that you guide folks through? You've got years of experience doing this stuff. Like, what do you think moves the needle enough for loan officers to start really taking control of their own destiny financially?
Well, we're in a new market. And so the activities that were typically taught in this market just don't work, right? There's been too much very significant changes,
Mhm.
whether it be technology, the NAR settlement last year, how
Mm.
realtors are functioning now, which is very different. And so, one example would be some coaches will teach you have to call 50 realtors every Monday morning, right? Just call 50
Mhm.
realtors, new realtors every Monday morning. You know, I mean, 90% of realtors right now don't have clients.
Yeah.
So if they
And a
don't
lot
have
of them are
clients,
leaving. A lot of them are leaving the
then who are you
space.
calling and why are you calling them? And like, that's not a good strategy anymore,
Mm.
right? Most buyers agents don't even know how to sell their buyer fee now. right? Before they
Mhm.
were free, right? The listing agent, the seller paid it. But
Mhm.
now you have to sign a buyer agreement and you're agreeing that somehow, some way the buyer agent's going to get paid 3% or 2% or whatever your buyer, right? Well,
Mhm.
most realtors don't know how to sell that.
Yeah.
So they don't have clients. And so when you look at any market, I don't care what market you're in, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, Denver, whatever market you're in,
Mhm.
run the multiple listing service data, right? The buyers are controlled by typically the top 10% of realtors.
Mm.
So I don't want to call 50 realtors every Monday morning that are broke.
Mhm.
I want to call the top 10% of realtors, and that's it. Yeah, but that's every loan officer. Every loan officer is making those same phone calls to the same realtors,
Mhm.
right? So what are you saying that's different and unique? And so
Mhm.
I've learned there's three things that you can't say. So you can't talk about price, product, or service.
Hmm.
Hey, I got great rates.
Yeah.
What? Everybody's got great. Like
Just
what?
lots of folks have
Like
yeah.
that. When I hear a loan officer say that, I just cringe. It's like, oh my god. You realize there's one Fannie Mae, there's one Freddie Mac, there's one FHA, there's one, VA, there's one USA, like, we're all selling from the same coupon windows. What is it when you say that,
Yeah.
you're not valuable, you're not unique.
Yeah.
Stop saying it,
Mhm.
right? Like, and I'll show you what to say instead, but,
Yeah.
and then service. "Hey, I've got great service. I've been doing this 26 years, and when I tell you this is gonna happen, this is gonna blah, blah," you and everybody else. It's the same script.
Mm.
Every loan officer is reciting the same script to realtors. Or I do
Mhm.
down payment assistance, and I'm great with veterans, and I do VA loans. And do you know any lender right now not doing down payment assistance and not doing VA loans and not like it's all automated? Like what? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? None of that is unique or valuable. So you can't talk about price, product, or service. So what do you say instead?
Yeah.
And so what I've learned, and I kind of learned this by default. So as you get to know me, I come across like in a setting like this with you and me, I come across like I'm extroverted.
Mhm.
And I've learned to project my voice and I use my hands a little bit. And it's okay, I'm not. I'm an introvert.
Mm.
I love being at home. Like if I go to a social function, at the end of it, I'm exhausted. I mean,
Yeah.
I need to sleep 12 hours. Like I have spent all of my energy. Right. And so when I go out to social functions,
Yeah.
in the industry, most of my friends are extroverts, and I latch onto them, right?
Yeah.
I'm their rescue, right? I'm the
Yeah,
introvert,
yeah.
they're the extroverts. I latch onto them. But when I would notice early on in my career, I'd go to events and, they'd be working the room, shaking hands, doing all that things. I'd go off and get us drinks and, I'll
Yeah.
meet you in the corner when you're done.
Yeah.
And I noticed though that that's not good.
Right.
Like if
It
you're in
doesn't help you.
sales, you can't be the guy saying, "I'll meet you over there. I'm gonna go get drinks." Like that, you
Yeah.
don't make money doing that.
Yeah.
And so I would be sitting there watching and trying to figure out, okay, I need to solve this. Do I
Mhm.
become a different human? Like, do I find a way to somehow become magically extroverted? Or is there a strategy I can deploy that makes being an extrovert irrelevant?
Mm.
And so that's a lesson I learned early on is you can either solve the problem or
Mhm.
make the problem irrelevant. One of the two. Or move
So
on.
what
If you can't do either of those 2, then move on. But so what I learned is you go be extroverted, be
yeah.
charming, shake their hands, whatever, and then when you're done, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get all their business because 'cause I'm more valuable.
Mm.
People make decisions based on who's most valuable. Yes, you have to
Right.
be likable, right? Like, people will do business with people who they know, like, and trust.
Right.
Yes, but they'll always choose who's most valuable.
Mhm.
And so how are you valuable? How are you
Mhm.
unique? And how are you communicating that? Right?
So
And so
what
instead of calling realtors,
Mhm.
here's a different strategy. So so we've got a program where we have unlimited access to free credit repair,
Okay.
right? Okay, I have free credit repair. What does that mean? It means I can go to bankruptcy attorneys and offer free credit repair to all of their clients to get bankruptcies removed from their credit reports.
Mm.
Now, have you ever met a bankruptcy attorney who would say no to that?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've
No,
ever met any bankruptcy
no.
attorneys.
Well, and good for you, but I mean, in
Yeah.
networking and whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if I'm a bankruptcy attorney and somebody offers me free credit repair to remove bankruptcies from all my clients' credit reports
Yeah,
and it's free,
yeah, why not?
of course. Okay, so now I get an influx of all these people that want bankruptcies off their credit reports. I put them in the system. It's all automated. We remove the bankruptcies of their credit reports, but all of a sudden I've got pre-approved buyers.
Exactly.
Now I'm calling a realtor saying, "Hey, I've got a client, Sally and Sam Smith, who are pre-approved to buy home up to $500,000. We'd like to come to your office and meet with you
Yeah,
to interview about being their buyer's agents. Does next Wednesday or Thursday work for you?"
yeah, perfect, perfect. So you've
Yeah.
locked in,
Have you ever
you've
met a
create
realtor who says no to that meeting?
yeah, exactly.
But being an introvert, I don't want no.
Yeah,
Right? It's almost a phobia, right? I don't like rejection. I can't call 50 realtors every Monday and be rejected like that. I can't.
yeah,
Like, my brain just I can't deal with it. And so
yeah,
I'd much rather be so valuable that the concept of the person in front of me saying no it's just not gonna happen.
yeah, and you're effectively creating your own it's like fish in a barrel. You're creating your
That's correct.
own pool of folks
Yeah,
that
you
are
get a
gonna be your
bankruptcy attorney
clients.
to send out an email to their database of clients, one email to
Yeah.
their database. Now think about this, right? I'm a consumer.
Mhm,
I recently declared bankruptcy
mhm.
in the last months or years, whatever, and I get an email from my bankruptcy attorney.
Yeah, who you
Do I read it?
trust. Yeah,
I read
yeah,
it. My bankruptcy attorney send me an email,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Now it says, "Hey, guess what? I'm so excited to let you know that you can have your bankruptcy removed from your credit report. Call this guy. It's completely free of charge."
mm,
I'm taking
that's
50
pretty
to 100 loan
genius.
apps that day. Go to my website. Go to my website. Go to my website. Go to my website. Right? They go in. It's free. Right? We start their credit repair. Now
Yeah,
I'm outbounding them, setting up, appointments to do Zoom calls with them like this, right? "Hey,
yeah,
so excited you're in our system. Should take us about 60 to 90 days to get up. In the meantime, let's get you pre-qualified, assuming that's gone,
mhm.
so you can start thinking about the market, thinking about buying a home."
And so then are you then taking those leads and you're specifically reaching out to the top
Top realtor.
10% agents?
Well, if I've got a pre-approved buyer, I'm reaching out to the top 5%.
Top 5, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Because then you're immediately giving them value, and they're gonna wanna return
It
it
well,
with more
so no,
leads.
no, you would think that, right?
Mhm.
Because 'Cause you're thinking like a normal, rational person.
Okay.
But realtors thought that's not what happens, right? So you have to set the expectation,
Yeah,
right? So yes, I'm coming to you. Yes, I'm handing them to you,
yeah,
right? Now I have 50 more,
yeah.
but I do one to one.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
hand you the first, but I won't hand you another one until you reciprocate.
Wow.
So you hand me one, I hand you one. You hand me one, I hand you one, right?
Yeah,
It's one to one. So I just
yeah, that's
doubled all my business, but you have to set the expectation.
yeah. But
I'm
then
not handing you another one.
you're also setting yourself up for long-term success by then engaging with you're casting your net much wider with those top 5%, and because some of them may not give you a lead back. Some of them may keep them
And
flowing.
they won't, hold on. There are several that won't,
Yeah.
right? Because they just don't believe you can do it again,
Mm.
right? And so you have to explain how you have this many,
Mhm.
right? Because they just don't believe you, right? It's just so foreign of a concept that a loan
Yeah.
officer can match them one to one. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
How?
usually loan officers are getting their leads from the real estate agents as their
That's
main
correct.
source. Yeah.
That's correct. And so I target bankruptcy attorneys, immigration attorneys, divorce attorneys, financial planners, CPAs, insurance agents, and there's a different value proposition
Wow.
per category. Each one of them has a different pain point.
Mhm.
So bankruptcy attorneys, free credit repair. Divorce attorneys, we show them how to. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac capped a loophole last year,
Mhm.
June of 2024. They capped the ability to use trust income with no
Mm.
seasoning. So all these divorce attorneys were showing their clients how to use trusts instead of alimony and child support, call it
Mm.
a trust payment. And now the wife can qualify, not always the wife, but most of the time it's the wife that can qualify to do a cash out refinance to pay off the departing husband
Mhm.
because she now qualifies based on a trust payment,
Mm. Interesting.
right? And so Fannie
Yeah.
Freddie capped the loophole, but I've got 4 investors on Wall Street still allowing us to do it. It's not Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, it's Wall Street, but I got 4 investors still allowing us to do it. Divorce attorneys are all over it.
Yeah, I love it, I'm
And they
sure.
don't believe you. Like a divorce attorney is like, no, it stopped June of last year. We can't do it anymore. Yeah, that's what your other loan officer. I'm still doing it. It's not Fannie
Yeah,
Mae, Freddie Mac. What?
yeah, yeah. There's your
Right?
differentiator,
And
yeah.
so now I'm able to refer those types of clients to realtors. Immigration attorneys, um, we do 97% financing for anybody with a visa. And so
Mm,
loan officers don't understand what that means, right? So when you so I'm was originally from Canada, so I'm Canadian.
mhm,
I'm now a US citizen, but I had to go through the entire immigration process, which
yeah,
is mind-numbing. Like the only way you're going to get through an immigration process in the United States is to hire an immigration attorney.
mhm,
There's no way you're doing it on your own. No chance.
mhm,
Okay, but to come here, the first thing you have to do is apply for a visa.
mhm,
Like as a Canadian, I could come vacation for a couple of weeks,
right,
but I can't live here, right? If I
mhm,
want to live here, I have to get a visa. Well, there's hundreds of visas, right?
mhm,
Depending what you're doing, right? But step one is I got to get a visa. If I get a visa, I'm also issued a social security number.
mhm,
I get a social security number, I get a visa. Once I have a visa, then I can apply for what's called a permanent residency, which is a green card. Once everybody says, oh, do you have
mhm,
your green card? That's what that means, permanent resident. But I can't apply for that if I don't first have a visa.
mhm,
I have to have a visa first.
mhm.
Once I have a visa and I apply for permanent residency, that's 2 to 7 years.
Jeez.
I'm in visa status for 2 to 7 years,
Yeah,
right?
man, yeah,
So how do I buy a house if I don't have a green card? Because 99% of loan officers will tell you you have to have a green card to buy a
yeah,
house. Traditional financing, right?
mhm,
We do 97% financing for anybody with a visa. You got a visa, 3% down, you're buying a house.
wow,
Now imagine an immigration attorney sending one email out to their database. And
yeah,
if I'm an immigrant and I get an email from my immigration attorney, do I read the email? Yes. It's my attorney,
yeah. And
right?
do your like, let's say for in this example, do
Mhm.
those immigration attorneys also push it out, like, through the rest of their firm, or do they have a network of other
Most
attorneys?
immigration attorneys are solo practitioners,
Gotcha.
right? Like it's XYZ Sam Smith Office of Immigration, typically. I
Yeah.
mean, not always, but most of they're solo practitioners typically.
Yeah, I'm just curious on all these examples. It sounds like if you're one of the only people that are doing this, that you're, like, so highly differentiated, you'd think that these folks know other folks, that there's no stepping on toes, that they also wanna share your services with their peers or their
Sure,
networks.
with their peer, yeah, they don't though. So immigration attorneys, everybody cares about themselves, brother, right? They're not about
Yeah.
sharing. I found something that's unique. They do this.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
fair.
they don't give it to other immigration attorneys, and no, because we also show them like as an immigration attorney, you can use this to go get new clients.
Oh,
Right, so
gotcha.
you
So
can
it's a
market to the
differentiator for
universe
them.
saying, "Hey, not only am I a great immigration attorney and I can help you through the citizenship process, but I can
And
help
get
you
you in a
get a piece
house.
of the American dream faster because my real
Yeah.
estate team does 97% financing for anybody with a visa. If you'd like an introduction, call me."
Yeah.
So they use it for lead generation for new clients, not just helping their existing clients.
So what is it that and this may be getting way too or going way too down the rabbit hole, but is what you're able to do, it sounds like not all, mortgage companies are
No,
able
they
to do
don't. Well,
this?
they can, they just don't know how, right?
Okay.
Like it's a level playing field.
Yeah.
So what I learned early on in my mortgage career, and I didn't realize it before because I didn't have to do it. My brain didn't have to do it before, but I learned
Yeah.
early on, mortgage matrices, I have some sort of photographic memory.
Mm.
Um, and I learned it really early on because I would read back in the paper days, right? I would read
Mhm.
all the guidelines and my brain would just take photographs
Mm.
like this, right? And I had instant recall on all the
Wow.
guidelines. I don't know
Wow.
how I do it. I just do it. And so I've learned to tailor it into finding missing information,
Mhm.
right? Like here's the guidelines, but there's no section on XYZ. So then
Mhm.
I reach out to the underwriter or the rep and I say, hey, there's no section on that. Yeah, we don't care about that.
Mm.
Really? So boom, here's okay. How do I apply that they don't care? They don't care about that. So like one example is one of our investors sent over the guidelines. It was a new investor for us, and I go through their guidelines, and there's no condo section, like
Mhm.
nothing about condos. So I reached out. I said, like, whoever wrote your guidelines, you should fire them. Like, there's no section on condos. So yeah, we treat condos like single family residents.
Oh.
No, no, you don't. So first of all, that's just ludicrous. Like
Mhm.
nobody does that. So what do you mean? It's like, yeah, we don't care if it's a condo, single family. It's the same thing to us. So you don't ask for the condo docs, like the
Hmm.
HOA cert and the HOA insurance. Nope, don't ask for it. Don't care. Don't want it. Nope, I need to validate this. Right? Got the underwriting manager. Obviously, yeah, it's a single family residence. We don't ask for it. Don't want it. Don't care. Florida, non-warrantable condos. Right? Traditional financing. Don't care. There's open litigation. Don't care because I'm not asking for the condo docs. How would I know that there's open litigation?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so it opens up this floodgate of being able to do loans that nobody else can do, even though they can, they just haven't read the guidelines to know that they can.
Wow. Good for you. That's pretty cool. So you
Yeah,
just
like, how do I do 97% financing for anybody with a visa? Well, a memo was pushed out 3 years ago that nobody read.
yeah. Oh, wow. If you're listening, go
I
read
read
the
the
friggin'
memos,
memos.
I read the updates, right? And so I just saved it, and so if an underwriter questions me on it, I send them the memo like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I guess I can approve that. Yes, you
Yeah.
can. Thank you."
Very cool. Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you had to give some advice to maybe a loan officer or real estate agent or any local operator who's really struggling to drive revenue, to drive business, maybe even drive leads, like what's one thing that you could tell them to do today or even this week to start turning that around?
Learn how to go after, strategic partners to drive referrals so that you
Mhm.
can give referrals to top realtors. Stop trying to call realtors saying, "I got great rates, great products, and great service." Stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. It's a bad strategy, right?
Mhm.
Like a good realtor, a good one is getting that phone call 10 times a week,
Mhm.
right? Like you're
You
just
gotta
in the
have the
mix.
differentiator, yeah.
You have to differentiate. You have to be unique and valuable, and then you have to communicate that uniqueness and that value in a very effective manner.
Mhm.
Right? It's not just my grandfather had a great saying. He said, "Being in business without effective marketing is like winking at a girl in the dark."
Yeah, perfect.
You know what you're doing, but it's not getting you anywhere,
You know what you're doing. That's
right?
hilarious.
And
So
so you have to be able to communicate it effectively so that the person in front of you understands what's in it for them.
yeah.
Right? Like even if I'm talking to an immigration attorney for the very first time, right? I'm not talking about asking for them to send out an email or referrals or no, 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 no. I'm here to help you get new clients for free.
Mhm.
Is that okay? Would you like new
Yeah.
clients for free?
Yeah.
No contract, no credit card. I don't want your money.
Yeah.
Just want to show you how to get new clients. Now, most people are gonna be like, okay, too good to be true. What's the hook? What's the catch? Well, the catch is I'm a big believer in the trickle down effect. Right? If I'm
Yeah.
bringing you new clients, I'm probably going to get some of them from a financing standpoint.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I don't bring you new clients, then I'd get no shot at anything.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
So
you
at
already
least
have the relationship with
I'd
them.
like at least a shot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. So what is it? Okay, here's how our program works. Right? And then but I'm there to talk about them. I'm
Yeah.
not here to ask you for a referral. Now, once they agree and they go, yeah, I am going to market that. Great. By the way, you probably don't handle your social media stuff. It's probably somebody in your office, like a paralegal. Say, yeah, yeah, Sally over in the corner. She does that. Great. If you could let Sally know, I'll just go over and sit next to her and I'll show her examples.
Mhm.
And oh, by the way, and then I pull out a piece of paper and I show them an email. Do you mind? Can Sally send this email out to your existing database
Yeah.
while I'm over there?
Yeah, you're
And the
giving
email
them
says,
the
hey,
tools.
congratulations. Guess what I found? Right. And
Yeah.
by this time, there's like, yeah, have her send out the email. Great.
Yeah, we do a lot of we would call that partner enablement. It's like you just create all the assets for them, make it super easy, set them
Super
up,
easy.
set the
Yeah,
ball
like
on the tee, and give it to them.
And like Evocalize that's exactly what that is. Yeah.
Y we try to exactly. I typically don't go too deep into product, but at high level, we basically help to automate a lot of the
So
ads
easy, man.
process. Yeah, you just
It was
log in.
shockingly easy. Like
It
when I
is
set up my account,
yeah,
right, it was like one of the easiest no-brainers, like, how do you not do this? Like, what's like you have too much business that you don't want more business, like, your
yeah,
return on investment at this level is you don't want, you know, 20x
leads.
return on your investment? Like, what I don't understand the like and you just click, like, click, 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 boom, out it goes, and leads start coming in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it works for all sorts of industries, but for mortgages, really, really cool. And, this is kind of, letting the cat out of the bag a little bit, but we're getting ready to push out a product that actually allows loan officers to co-market, and so they could invite real estate agents to have their information on the ads as well as the loan officer's information, so you're basically splitting the cost. So you get the same amount of leads, same quality leads for half the cost, like, that is a no-brainer.
That's it's already now you're just making it almost free.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's pretty
that's
cool.
silly. That's great. It's good, but it was just really whoever designed your user interface, right? I mean, they clearly understand how to make things easy.
Yeah.
It was just so easy. Click, it was clicks, just click, click, click. It was great.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. I'll pass it along. Yeah, digital marketing's tough. Even as a marketing leader, I've
It's
always
super
hated
tough. Like
running ads.
until we found you guys, right? I didn't really engage in it because
Mm,
there's too many moving parts.
yeah,
Right, and
yeah,
I talk to my friends, like, I've got lots of friends that are very successful in social media and advertising, etcetera, and, every time I ask them, like, "What's your client acquisition cost?"
mhm,
They don't know, and
yeah,
I have to break it down for 'em. It's like, "Okay, well, hold on. So what do you spend on the person who's following you with the camera, right? Your editing costs, your manpower costs, your ad buy costs, your
your time.
boosting costs, your whatever. Add that all
Mhm,
up per month. What is it?" Right? And, one of my friends said, "Oh, if you add all that up, I'm like $12,000 a month."
mm,
I was like, $12,000 like,
yeah,
okay, for $12,000, how many loans did you close last month? Like, as a direct result of that effort, he said, 6.
yeah,
Okay,
huh,
so 6 into $12,000 means you have a client acquisition cost of $2,000. You're spending $2,000 to fund 1 loan.
yeah,
You can't sustain that. I already know
yeah,
that your margins are jacked.
mhm,
I already know. You're getting price shopped on all your loans because you have to jack your margins to pay for that. Like, "Where's that coming
yeah,
from?" He's like, "Yeah, I get price shopped all the time." Okay.
yeah,
So, is it a good strategy? Not so much. Not if you're
yeah,
spending $2,000 to fund 1 loan. It's not sustainable,
yeah,
right? And so I look at
exactly.
what you guys do. I mean, you start at $99 and you get leads.
Yeah.
I close 1 loan a year, right? 1 loan a year, my client acquisition cost was $1,200.
Oh, dude, we
Well,
have
yeah, but you're not closing 1 loan a year. You close a heck of a lot more than that. And so why
yeah,
would you spend $2,000 to fund 1 mortgage? That makes it absolutely makes no business sense.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, we've got clients who are closing. We have one client who's closed 650 deals
I
as a
believe that.
result of the ads that those
I
leads
believe
came
that.
in through, yeah. It's pretty crazy. Um, Switching gears real fast. So,
Mm.
back to your dog rescue. I want you
Yeah.
to give a little bit more on that. I just pulled on that thread a little bit because it's one of the things that makes you unique, and it's something that people typically don't get visibility into on content that's pushed across, so, maybe LinkedIn or whatever. So, tell me a little bit about your passion in rescuing animals and kinda how it helps you a little more.
Yeah, it again, it comes from trauma, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't wanna speak for everybody, but for me, big decisions for me usually come from some sort of trauma response.
Mm.
And so I had, 2 events in my life that involved trauma around a dog.
Mhm.
And so I never wanted a dog. Like, I've never had a dog. Other than that, I spent 40 years very focused on not having a dog. Don't want
Yeah.
one. Like, no, I won't survive it. Right?
Yeah.
It's not okay. And then in my most recent relationship, she was just so adamant about getting a dog, and I broke down. We got a dog, and I mean, I fell in love so hard with that dog, and then
Yeah.
we got divorced, and because it was present for her, she got the dog in the divorce, and it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, this is right. I've opened up this thing,
Yeah.
and so I went down to the San Diego. I live in San Diego. Went to the Humane Society. Like, what does it look like to adopt? Maybe, and they said,
Mm.
well, you can adopt, you can foster. And I was like, foster?
Hmm.
What's that look like? And so they walked me through. Oh, you're like the bridge, right? Like, so we have a dog that's found on the street, or we have a dog that's turned in, or whatever. Then they stay with you instead of being here in the kennel.
Mhm.
Because you walk through the San Diego Humane or any kennel, right? They're just in these little cages,
Yeah.
right? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's just brutal. Like
It's
living like
tough.
that. I mean, it's the best they can do, and it's not their fault,
Right,
but it's
right.
not good for the dog.
Yeah.
And then I Googled and I found a local organization called Second Chance Dog Rescue, and so it's a charity, right?
Mhm.
But all they do, so there's no paid employees of any kind, and all
Mhm.
they do is take the dogs from the kennels in Southern California that are set to be euthanized, and they pull them.
Mm.
And so these are dogs that are not adoptable, right? No,
Yeah.
they've been in the kennel for X amount of time. Nobody adopted them. They're set to be euthanized. They pull them, and then they have this army of fosters in
Mhm.
San Diego County. And I was like, that resonates with me, right? Like what
Yeah.
they're doing, that lands. And so I called and said, hey, I'd like to be a foster. I want to try this out. And they said, great. Here's how it works. And the first dog they gave me was he had teeth, jaw problems, right?
Mm.
And all they knew is he had jaw problems. And you could look at him. He was a poodle mix. You could look at him. It's like, yeah, like he wouldn't open his mouth, like unless he was
Mm.
eating something. But other than that, mouth's not opening. And we ended up. He had 20 teeth that had to be removed.
Oh my word.
Yeah. So I learned that dogs have 42 teeth, right? So, but half the teeth had to come out. And when the surgeon after said, um, 10 of the 20 weren't even attached. I mean, they were just sitting on his gums. Like he was in absolute agony.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. And so I nursed him through I got him before the surgery and I nursed him through the
Mhm.
surgery, antibiotics, and, I nursed him through. And then he got adopted to this dream home. It
Mm.
was two women that were best friends their whole life, and they
Mhm.
got divorced and whatever, and they just bought a house together, and they're
Golden
retired.
Girls.
Yeah, and they're like, "We just wanna love on a dog. That's it. We're both retired. We wanna cook. We want a dog that just wants to be loved on." I was like,
Mhm.
"This is a dream scenario," right?
Yeah.
And they met, and, they adopted him, and they just love on him, right? He gets home-cooked meals, and, they just take him
That's good.
everywhere, and I got hooked, right? That was it.
Yeah.
I'm hooked. And so then they were at the organization was asking me about my home, right? I'm single, no kids. They said, well, how are you with, like, what if we had a dog that was a bite risk?
Mhm.
And so when I was younger, I dabbled a little bit in training mixed martial arts a little bit, right? So I've
Mm.
been in the ring and having guys try to punch me in the face. I was
Right.
like,
Not bite, but yeah.
yeah, I'm okay. Like, you don't have to bite me, right? You put a Band-Aid on it, you go, and like, whatever. Like, it doesn't phase me really.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can we try one?" It's like, "Yeah, let's try one." So that was my second,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they brought him over, and when I met him, he bit my, foot through my sneaker,
Oh
punctured
my
my foot.
gosh.
Like, he like, right out the gate, right? It's
He
like, "Oh,
he goes hard. He goes hard.
this is let's see how this I don't know." Right? I'm watching videos and like, "Okay, how do you deal with bite risks? How do you deal with, or Cesar Millan?" There's a few other trainers that are really good.
Yeah.
And right, same thing, like go to someone who knows what they're doing and just do what they tell you to do. Don't have an
Yeah.
opinion. I didn't have an opinion,
Yeah.
right? I'm watching videos. I do what they tell me to do. And that dog within about 4 hours ish
Mm.
melted right into me.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna tell you, it was mind melting. when it happened. I
That
was
is
just like,
crazy.
"Oh my god, I think I might be good at this. Like, I think I can handle this." And
Yeah.
then, he got adopted, and then I got another one who got adopted, and then I got another one who's adopted, and so this one I've got now, she's asleep next to me.
Uh-huh.
She was returned by 2 fosters, both said she's a bite risk, can't have her. And then they brought her to me, and this one, I got a little better at it, right? This was about an hour, and now
Yeah.
she looks at me, I might adopt I'm telling you, if the family doesn't get her soon, I might have to adopt her. Like, I this is she looks at me like I'm a god. And it's like, "Don't look at me like that. Oh my god. Jeez Louise, you're killing me." Like,
Yeah.
it's, and so I say it truthfully, like, they heal me more than I heal them, right? Like,
Yeah.
to receive that much adoration, and love just unconditionally,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's pretty tough to say no to that, man.
Well, I mean, I can see very clearly through the way you talk about it. You're obviously super passionate about it. I thought it might be cool to drop you into AI and as a hero to all dogs, maybe
Oh, that is
come up
hilarious. Send
come up
that
with
to me.
your new name is the Second Chancer.
Oh my god, send that to me. That's awesome.
I'll
Yeah,
do
this is
it.
my this beard, this is my first beard that I'm growing. I've never had a
Oh
beard
yeah.
my whole life, and,
Di-
going through all this, so, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens. I didn't realize how white it was gonna come
yeah.
in. I look like Santa Claus.
It's perfect. Well, awesome. That about does it for today. If you want, before we jump off, let folks know how to follow you, what your book is again, what it's called, and where they could pick it up.
Yeah, The Why of Money, How to Get Out of Your Own Way and Finally Earn What You Deserve. My website is eric-mitchell.com, ERIC-Mitchell with 2 L's.com, and all my social media links, all my stuff's right there. It's super easy to find. And, the book I was a passion project. I made some observations about the 1% of salespeople that make money and build wealth and the 99% who
Mm,
live paycheck to paycheck or less than paycheck to paycheck. And what was the difference? Right. And people say, oh, it's drive and motivation. No, no, no. When I went to those people and asked them the question of like, why do you earn more than you need? It was never about the money.
mm,
Not one single time. And so what I learned is all of the answers came back into 5 buckets. There was only 5 answer variations.
mhm,
And so I wrote down the 5 buckets and then I started testing it. Like, is this real? And then I would go
mm,
back to the wealthy and say, okay, here's the 5. Like, is this accurate? And they're like, no one's ever said it to me like that before, but yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
yeah,
And so when I talk to people about making money and they're focused on the money or safety or, I want my family to be safe or that's not in the 5 answers, you're always going to live paycheck to paycheck. You're thinking about money the wrong way.
yeah,
And so, and then there's a video on my website as well. It's a 15-minute video about the summary of the book.
mhm,
And in the video, I prove the concept. I go,
mm,
okay, let's test it with a room full of people. Let me test it and
yeah,
let's see if it stands up to the theory, right? And that's when you go, yep,
yeah. That's
yep,
crazy.
there it is, right? And so if you focus on your why, whatever that is,
Yeah,
then everything becomes easy.
yeah,
If you focus on money, if you focus on activities, if you focus on
yeah,
other things other than one of those 5 answers, then
yeah.
you're always in the grind.
Yeah. It becomes a game of, like, chasing the next what. It's like, "What do I do next?" And it's like, "I can try this, try this, try this."
You're not
You're always just throwing
evolving.
stuff at the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not about so
That's
and what I say to
interesting.
people when somebody says, "Oh, I closed 3 loans last week or last month," right? You closed 3 loans last month. How long you been doing this? Well, 20 years. Okay, no.
Mm,
You have not been a loan officer for 20 years. You've been a loan officer 1 year 20 times.
mm.
You haven't
Yeah.
evolved.
You gotta change, yeah,
If
with the
you if
market.
you if you're still doing mortgages today the way you did 5 years ago,
Yeah.
then you're not evolving, you're not changing, you're not adapting. You're in the grind. You're in that minutia. And
Yeah.
and I've been there, and so I understand it, but
Yeah.
there are people, I'm not the only one, right? But there are people that can grab you by the hand and pull you out of that minutia
Mm.
if you let them. But if you approach that from a standpoint of, "Well, my way is," yeah, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no,
not
no,
gonna work.
no, no, no. Your way closed 3 loans last month. That's what
Yeah.
your way did. Can I please show you how to close 20 loans a month, still working 40 hours a week? Would
Yeah.
that be
Wow.
okay? Because your way closes 3.
Right.
Let me try how to close 20, still working 40 hours a week. Because
Yeah.
when you say 20 loans a month, people go, oh, I don't want to work that much.
Yeah. It sounds like it's
No
too
more
much.
work.
Yeah.
There's no more work. It's not
Mm.
more work. You're not understanding the sequence. That's all.
Yeah.
Can you be open to the sequence?
Yeah.
So
Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, this has been a ton of fun. Lots of excellent insights. I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Eric Mitchell, thanks again for joining us in the lab.
great to be here, man. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us in the Local Marketing Lab. This podcast is brought to you by Evocalize. To learn how Evocalize can help you grow your business, visit evocalize.com. If you learned something new from today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook at Evocalize. That's EVOCALIZE. And on X at Evocalize Inc. And remember, keep innovating and trying new things. You never know what's going to connect with your audience until you try. And until next time, thanks for listening.